Okay, um, today, Shoes Brews reviews. Normally, I do some beer reviews and I talk about, the quality of the beer, and sometimes we talk about the history of the beer and so on and so forth. Today, I'm not going to do that. Today, I want to talk about the quality of the friends that you have when you enjoy beers or life or whatever. I want to dedicate this session to a friend of mine who passed this week, and a guy that you know I can't say enough about. Um, Such a generous person and a and a great friend. And I think that anybody that knew Paul Day would know that, all he wanted to do was enjoy life. And he did. And I think that sometimes we forget about the importance of that. And for my friend Paul, you know, we started playing music together back in the late 80s, early 90s, and we hung out. We had a lot of fun. Went to the Kentucky Derby. I don't know, 5, 7 years in a row. I don't know exactly how many years. When you have good friends, you don't count. You just do it. And sometimes you take it for granted. And when something like that gets taken away from you, you really don't know how to act. And I'm not a weak person by nature. Anybody that knows me knows that I've had my share of you know losses in my life. But the older you get, I think the harder it gets, and I hope that we don't forget that as we move forward in our lives. You can't replace a friend like Paul, and you can't replace the feelings and the good times that you have. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm doing this because I don't know what kind of, you know, ceremony or service or recognition or whatever you want to call it that he's going to get because of everything that's going on around us right now. And I thought it was important that someone had a chance to say what they felt about this guy, um, without any restrictions of social distancing or any other stuff that's put on us, right now because of what's going on. We have to remember that we're all people. And we have to remember that at the end of the day, that's what matters. And I just wanted to take this time to recognize my friend and to express my appreciation for everything that he did, um, you know, in my life. Sorry if I'm tearing up a little bit. I don't get too excited about a lot of things, but my friends are very important to me, and I think it's important that we are able to express that without being embarrassed about it. Anyway, I met Paul in 1988, and he was brought in to sing in a band I was playing in at the time, and you know, we hit it off right away. And, we had a lot of common interests and everything like that. Um, so we spent the next, you know, 10 years hanging out, whatever. And then, I got out of the music business for a while. Got married, my son was born, and, I did the dad thing for, 20 years. And when we moved into our house in Grove City, I was lucky enough to be able to meet up with Paul again. And we had, it was just like we'd never lost contact. Excuse me. And that's not Corona, by the way. I had my temperature checked about 20 minutes ago. But anyway, we got back together, and it was like we'd never spent any time apart. And that was the kind of guy Paul was. I mean, he would kind of, you know, he would make you feel welcome and make you feel comfortable. And we started hanging out at my house, and we'd sit in the bar and at the house, and we'd drink some beers and talk and just have a good time. And he would do his normal funny comedy routines and stuff like that, and we would laugh and have a good time. And that was Paul. I mean, he was just a good guy in general. He just always wanted to make people happy. One of the reasons he was so good at what he did as far as singing was because he wanted to make people happy. And I think, for me, that is kind of one of the things that I really liked about Paul, was the fact that he would give so much of himself and not expect anything back. And if at the end of the day, if I can walk away from my life with that viewpoint and with that, interpretation of how I live my life, I would feel very good about that. And I just wanted to put this out here because I wanted to pay respect to my friend. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. And with the current situation, I don't know that whatever service or ceremony is going to be allowed to be had because of everything that's going on. I think it's important that people recognize what kind of guy he really was. And he was a guy that would give you the shirt off his back. He would host parties and invite people to his house and cook and do all kinds of things. And I was at some of those parties, and me and my wife and we would go there, and he would cook enough food for 35, 40 people, and maybe 10 would show up. And he never got bitter about it. And that was the thing about Paul. It wasn't about, I have all these friends. It was that he had friends that he cared about, and people that showed up, or people that he could talk to. And whoever was there, it didn't matter if it was 2 people or 2,000 people. He just wanted to make them happy. And that speaks a lot to somebody when they don't need a mark of how many friends they have or anything like that. It wasn't about that for Paul. It was about how can I make the person that's in front of me feel better about themselves. And that is a trait that a lot of people don't have, and I think that when you see it in someone, you should recognize it. And so anyway, I don't want to go on forever and ever about this because I know, but I want to make sure that everyone understands the world lost a great guy this week. And, people like Paul don't come around all the time, especially in this world, especially where we're at right now. And you guys see it on TV, and you see how selfish people can be. And that wasn't Paul. He was not selfish. He was very much a giving person. He would, and he's the kind of person that people today should strive to be like. And that's really to me, that's the takeaway from this. The world's lost somebody that really wanted to give of himself. I know, and in the past couple of years, I know he found his religion, he found his faith, and he was very involved in that and gave a lot as far as his faith and as far as his beliefs and everything. And he actually started doing when the coronavirus hit, he started doing some online activity to kind of share his faith and lead prayer meetings and so on. And people don't do that. A lot of people don't do that. That's somebody that wants to give back, and that's somebody that appreciates how they are and the situation that they're in. And I know it sounds like I'm rambling, and I apologize, but I just wanted to get this out there because I want to make sure that he's remembered for the person that he was. And you know, I don't really have much else to say about it except that I will miss my friend. And I think that the world will miss him. So I'm a pretty simple guy. All I can do is offer a toast to my friend, and I'll miss you.